We have the halving coming up. The ETF is priced in. It is a long-term event. What it does is it opens up the gates for support to enter the market for the next forever, years to come. It is long-term support, and it's going to ensure growth for Bitcoin in the crypto market as Wall Street, the global financial elites, begin to accumulate Bitcoin and crypto. It is going to provide us with long-term support, and this is very bullish.
The Bitcoin price is crashing today after the ETF approved.
Bitcoin is sitting at nearly 0% movement. Today, a lot of people have been making posts on Twitter and getting hysterical about the short-term price action. But in reality, Bitcoin is still in an uptrend. Higher lows, higher highs. I mean, it looks pretty good to me. There's nothing wrong with the price action. So I've been getting a lot of questions since the ETF approval took place yesterday. And people are saying, the ETF is approved. Why isn't Bitcoin pumping? Why did Ethereum pump instead? And my response is that the ETF is a long-term event. It is a long-term bullish event. It is not a short-term event. The ETF basically just opens up the floodgate for trillions of dollars from Wall Street to enter the crypto market. Companies will start buying the Bitcoin ETF, and then they may start to invest in venture capital or just investing in crypto as a whole. It is a gateway for trillions to enter this industry. So long-term price support from the global financial elites. The Bitcoin ETF pump was what we saw over the past few months. The Ethereum ETF comes next. The price action is neutral, kind of just sitting at zero flat, and it shows you that news anticipation can impact the markets much more than the event itself. And why is that? Well, the markets are forward looking. The markets are always looking forward, and investors, smart money, buy into markets leading into events, right? They don't just wait for the day that the announcement is made. They take action ahead of time to make money on the anticipation. The Bitcoin ETF pump was what we saw all year last year, leading into 2024. Now we have a successful approval for many Bitcoin ETFs, and the price is doing nothing. I would consider this positive, actually, because we ran up, started to price in the ETF approval, then the ETF is approved, and Bitcoin does nothing. So that means the market is comfortable. The market agrees on this price around 45, 46,000 as a good price for a Bitcoin ETF approval. Despite what may happen in the short term, what kind of crazy wicks we get, doesn't really matter. The market is comfortable with these prices with the ETF approval, so it is kind of priced in. Now people are going to say, well, Kev, wait a minute, you're saying that we're not going to pump with the ETF? Are you not bullish anymore? No. I'm very bullish on Bitcoin. Now what we have coming up is the anticipation of the halving. And so what you might see is the market, despite what may happen in the short term, I don't really care. What's going to happen is we're going to probably be trending up in general in anticipation of the halving. And then when the halving day comes, there might be nothing, just like this. And this is what a lot of people that are newer to trading and investing in markets, they don't really get this concept. They get so confused about these events, right? And so Ethereum has been undervalued in my opinion, and the Ethereum ETF is coming at some point. Maybe it'll happen at the top of the cycle, but at some point we're going to get an Ethereum ETF. And so now Ethereum is going to run up in anticipation of its ETF or whatever narrative there is. And now moving forward into 2024, I spotted this pattern here. This is a much larger broadening wedge pattern. And this pattern is showing that we may see steady growth for Bitcoin with highly volatile swings. This pattern could first run us up to this mid-high 50,000 range, which is that weekly candle close cluster, giving us a little bit of resistance with a dip back to, mid-low 40s, and then run up to 60,000 with a dip back to high 40s, and then run up towards the all-time high, leading into the halving event. And it's possible that by the time the halving comes around and the halving actually takes place, during the halving, the price could actually just be going sideways and then run up after. And so the anticipation is always the key factor. That's the moneymaker. So we had ETF anticipation. Now we have halving anticipation. And then I think we're going to see people get confused when the halving takes place, probably, because it's not going to be exactly what they expect. The day on the halving, everyone's just going to buy Bitcoin. It's just going to go to the moon. I mean, I don't think that's how this goes. I mean, that's too obvious. Somebody has to win. Somebody has to lose. So you can't make, the market's never going to play out in a way where everybody just wins. So expect just, I would say a general uptrend with maybe some pre-halving volatility and then maybe a post-halving all-time high break, that sort of a thing is what I would expect at this point. And as we can see on the right here, looking at Kraken Pro, we do have some of my favorited coins here showing that everything is generally up today. A lot of altcoins are starting to run. While Bitcoin's sitting at basically 0% plus minus on the day, altcoins are up 10, 20% across the board. As much as the Bitcoin maximalists don't want to hear it, the altcoins are set up for a really nice opportunity. We're breaking above our yearly resistance here, the multi-year resistance. And this is just sort of a copy paste of 2020, though I don't really think that it's going to be exactly the same in any way. In fact, I don't want to mislead people, so I'm going to move this to the side. But what we see is that we're basically in this position where we're just like 2020, breaking above that yearly high, consolidating along that resistance before a major bullish run for the altcoins. The total 3, everything excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum, that's what this chart is. And now we're sitting in that position again. We may see consolidation along that resistance and then a major bull run for the altcoins. We are still way below the all-time high for the total altcoin market cap. And so there's still a lot of opportunity here. And I think that, Bitcoin being priced, near 50,000, a lot of people are going to think that it's not a great opportunity. The crowd is going to think the opportunity is not so good. And I think that this cycle is going to be very favorable to the altcoin market. There's going to be a lot of people looking for opportunities outside of Bitcoin because Bitcoin is now on Wall Street, which means it's becoming a rich man's game. Though Bitcoin is still the king, of course, and it drives the market up and down, and it will always be the king, and it will always lead the market, and it's always good to have Bitcoin in your portfolio. My point is, the crowd is going to be looking at the other opportunities for further growth, bigger percent gains. So I think the altcoins are going to have a great run this cycle, and you just got to remember that things do take time. If you look at 2020, this was like a 3-month sideways range, 3 months going sideways and then up. So if we're just going sideways for 3 months, people are going to go, oh, the altcoins are dead. No, they're just settling up before a run. I mean, markets just take time. And I know a lot of Bitcoin maximalists are pissed off today because Ethereum is the one pumping, not Bitcoin, right? And so again, markets are forward looking. We pumped into the ETF launch. And now when the ETF is finally approved, the ETFs, multiple, now Ethereum pumps. I mean, it confuses people. But if you understand how the markets function and why the investors are doing what they're doing, forward looking, then things start to make more sense. So, I think that overall crypto's positioned perfectly. Being bearish pre-halving is never a good idea. Expecting dips is okay. That's fine. I expect many dips before we break the all-time high, right? But pre-halving, being bearish, has never made sense. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, smash the like, subscribe. Also, be sure to join the Patreon where you can see what altcoins I'm buying. You can see my daily sort of thoughts on Bitcoin in the Discord chat. You can only get in my Discord VIP by becoming a Patreon member. So if you're interested, click that link below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.